We're going to talk about the second scrimmage that we had over the weekend, and the main news and the biggest news and the breaking news of that scrimmage is the injury to five-star recruit Zamir White, the running back out of North Carolina. He suffered another ACL injury, this one in his left knee, his non-surgical knee, and it happened while he was on punt coverage. And, you know, a lot of people, you know, including fans and media, are trying to give Kirby Smart a lot of flack, a lot of heat for this injury, asking why was Zamir White even playing on the punt coverage team, right? Because he was already rehabbing the right knee that he hurt, you know, in his senior year of high school. But the doctors cleared him to play, but he was still playing with the brace on that right knee. So people question, why do you have him on the punt coverage team, right? So, and basically what Kirby Smart was saying that, like, last year, Sony Michel went first round NFL draft, and he was one of our best players. He played on punt coverage. DeAndre Swift plays on punt coverage in the source. So basically, Kirby Smart is saying that, you know, his best players play on special teams. So when it boils down to it, when Georgia have a road game, they only travel with 70 players, but it's at least 100 players on the team. So it's a lot of guys that don't get to make the travel team for the road game. So therefore, they are trying to identify the best 70 players they have in preparation for week 2 going to South Carolina. You feel what I'm saying? So therefore, a lot of these players, you know, if you ain't on the 2 deep, then you need to try to make an impact on the special team. So Zamir White was probably trying to carve out a niche for himself on the special teams unit, right? So therefore, Kirby Smart's going to play his best player, and I'm pretty sure Zamir White, #1 recruit, running back recruit coming in this year, I'm pretty sure he's one of the best 70 players on the team. So therefore, you got to find a role for him. And, you know, I guess the running back role, you know, with a crowded backfield, who knows where he would have been at in the pecking order at the beginning of this season. Some people say #2, some people they say #3, some people they say even #4. So you really don't know, but it's just so unfortunate that he's had another knee injury, another ACL injury. This is the second one within the span of 9 or 10 months, right? So, you know, psychologically, I know he's dealing with a lot, and I don't really know. You know, some people saying, you know, they not sure how he's going to bounce back. But you take a guy like Deshaun Watson, you know, who basically done had ACL torn in both knees as well. You know, Adrian Peterson is another guy that come to mind. It's several great athletes, great football players who have suffered multiple ACL injuries, you know. So I feel like with the medical staff at Georgia that he will get the best treatment possible. And I think it will suit him best to sit out the entire year, use this year as a medical red shirt, you know, and come back next year as a red shirt freshman, fully healed up 100% and ready to go, you know. So that's how I look at it, you know. I don't think his injury is going to be, you know, I'm sure it's going to be a major loss, of course, but it's not going to be the kind of loss that stops Georgia from competing and even achieving the team's goal this year, which is winning the East, competing in the SEC championship for a spot in the college football playoffs. I think they still have all those goals, you know, in sight. I think they are all reachable goals still, even with that injury. And, you know, we just got to go from that. Some other things to think about coming out of the second spring is the depth at cornerback, because we also dealing with the injury to Tyreek McGee, right? So it's it's in doubt if he'll be available for week 1, which we probably wouldn't need him, but hopefully he will be back for week 2 at South Carolina. But in his absence, that's giving other guys, younger guys, more reps and opportunity to really earn their way on the playing field, especially at the cornerback position opposite of DeAndre Baker, as well as the star position, which is also open. There's some concerns about the depth at safety, the quality depth. We got bodies, but the quality depth at safety, some concerns there. Some bright spots are Eric Stokes at the cornerback position. He's, gaining some traction in this fall camp. Man, he caught my eye during the GDEC game. I thought he played really well. I like the way that he covered, especially in the man-to-man bump and run aspect of coverage. He looked good in my eyes, and but during fall camp he was running a lot with the practice squad. But now he's back into the mix of the two deep. So who knows? Mark Webb is another person that I personally feel like could and probably should win that position. But they say Tyson Campbell, the freshman, the 5-star freshman, he's also looking really well. So we got the depth. It's just all about them, putting it all together and learning the playbook. That's why the loss to Tyreek McGee was so huge, because this was his 3rd year in that system, and he pretty much knew the defense better than a lot of the younger Bulldogs in the secondary, right? So that's something to keep your eye on. Kirby said that both quarterbacks, they didn't look as sharp during scrimmage number 2. He said that he let them really, throw the ball around. They did a lot of passing stuff, just to let the quarterbacks and the receivers get acclimated with one another as well as the offense. So they opened it up some, but he said it was a lot of sloppy play and a lot of, inaccurate balls threw around, both from from Jake Fromm and Justin Fields, right? So, who knows, what I mean? So, but he said it was a physical practice. He said that the inside linebackers, Quay Walker and Channing Tindall, the 2 freshmen, he said they look really good. They will run, and they will definitely put a hat on somebody. So he really liked that about those 2 guys. It's just the fact that they're freshmen. They didn't come for the they wasn't here for the spring, so they just not here for the fall. So they're behind the 8 ball in terms of learning the system and learning the defensive playbook and scheme that Georgia like to run. But as far as just talent and just the will and the ability and the physicality, they got all those tools. So they got a lot of upside. They just got to learn the defense now. So therefore he still is going to basically do a lot of rotation of a lot of bodies, a lot of guys at the inside linebacker position. They also said that Malik Herring was pretty much a defensive end for the most part. They trying to cross-train him to play a little bit of defensive tackle as well this year to give them more versatility in terms of depth along the defensive front, because that's one of the spots that the coaches feel like we're not as deep at, for its quality depth. So, so that's something else to keep your eye on. And it's a battle at left guard. It's not etched in stone that Solomon Kinley is going to start at left guard on the offensive line. There's a lot of guys in, competition for that, including Cade Mays. And then, they're doing a lot of different looks and different formations, just to really recognize the best 8 or 10 offensive linemen that they have, because we got at least close to 20 offensive linemen. So you want to identify your best 10, right? And those are the 10 that basically be in the rotation. But at the same time, you got to cross-train, because if you got the 5 starters, right, and then the left tackle, Andrew Thomas, goes out, you got to know who you're going to put at left tackle. You feel what I'm saying? Because the backup left tackle might actually be your starting right guard. You feel what I'm saying? So then you had to take him and put him way over here. Then, okay, so who's your backup right guard. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like it's all about just trying to find guys that can play multiple positions on that offensive line and trying to identify your best 10 guys that you got. And that's what Georgia doing. So you see a lot of different formations and you see a lot of different guys going in playing with the ones, some guys playing with the twos. And sometimes they could be misleading during the media viewing period because they might come in and see Cade Mays running with the ones and automatically assume that he's, earned the #1 spot. But that's not the case because it's just a lot of tampering, just, trying to get the right combinations. But overall, James Cook, the freshman running back out of Florida, they say he's looking really, really good in his fall count. And with the loss of Zamir White, James Cook should receive a bigger workload this upcoming season. But James Cook is so versatile. He can do so many different things. Look for them to have special formations and packages for him. I seen in one of the media viewing periods, they had him running a lot of the wild dog formations and stuff. Look for him to be in the slot, move him around, kind of like a Percy Harvin type of running back / receiver. So look for that this year from Georgia because right now, Georgia coach Curry Smart as well as Jim Chaney, the offensive coordinator, they're trying to figure out who are the best playmakers on offense. And whoever their best playmakers are on offense, that is what they're going to model the offensive identity behind. Last year, of course, we had a great stable of backs led by Nick Chubb and Sonny Michel. So quite naturally, our offense was, basically run dominant because those was our best players. You want to give your best players the ball and give them the opportunity to make plays and score points for you. They're saying that this year, if our best players would so happen to be, let's say, the receivers are our best players, right? Then the offense will automatically shift into a more pass-oriented identity to get the ball and the opportunities into the receiver's hand because there would be our playmakers. The same if the tight ends are the playmakers. Whoever are the playmakers, that is the direction that the offense is going to go in. And me as a fan, I love that about a coaching staff because that says a lot about the coaching staff. They said that is a great coaching staff that identifies the strengths of the team and the talents of the team, and they're not so stuck in their old ways that they are not willing to, kind of fit the offense to fit the personnel. That is a sign of a great coaching staff. So you always love when you hear stuff like that. I know I do, right? Because the worst thing you can have is coaches that stuck in their way and say, okay, this is the way it's going to be. And, they try to make guys fit into a certain system that guys just might not fit. You see what I'm saying? So, I think we still look good overall as a team. We still got more talent than anybody in the East, so we should still win the East. I still predict us to go undefeated. I don't see nobody beating us. So I still think we got a chance to fulfill all our goals. I just hope that the leaders step up, and then the older players, lead by example and set the tone early. And then I'm pretty sure the young talent will catch up with it as the season progresses, right? But that's about all I got to say for now. Saturday will be the third and final scrimmage. The third scrimmage is more like a walkthrough, so to speak. It's not as physical as the second scrimmage was, but Saturday's the third scrimmage. In preparations for September the 1st, the first game against Austin Peay. I'm excited about it. So that's all I got to say for now. Stay tuned in because I got more videos in depth talking about the Dogs, man. Other than that, that's all I got to say. Other than hit that subscribe button and go Dogs.